The wind is a blade, shaving away what little warmth remains in Kayla's body. He lies flat, a smear of brown fur and grim determination against the white expanse of the cliff's edge, the rock beneath him a block of pure cold. Below the world is a sheet of frozen glass, a vast sea inlet locked in winter's fist. For 3 days he has watched this emptiness, his stomach a hollow drum beating a rhythm of despair. The clan's cache of dried meat is gone, the children's cries are weaker now, a sound more terrifying than any predator's roar. This is the stark calculus of prehistoric life, a brutal equation written across a frozen landscape. Then he sees it, a tremor on the horizon, a slow-moving stain of grey against the white. He squints, his eyes raw from the wind, and his breath catches in his chest, a painful, frozen thing. I heard, not the fleet-footed or mythome imids that are now ghosts in this dead season, but something so, Pachyrhinosaurus, a moving fortress of muscle and bone, their thick, pebbled hides shedding the falling snow, the massive bony bosses on their snouts like shields of stone. They are crossing the inlet, 100 strong, their immense weight pressing down on the ice. A month's worth of meat, a season's worth of tools from their osteodontocoratic remains. A river of lifeblood walking across their grave. Kale slides back from the edge, his movements slow and deliberate. He does not run. In this cold, wasted energy is a death sentence. He returns to the shallow cave where the others huddle, their faces gaunt in the low light, eyes large and dark. He says nothing, only points. They follow him, a silent procession of 23 early humans, their survival skills pushed to their absolute limit. They stand on the precipice, looking down. A collective, silent gasp rises from them, a cloud of fleeting warmth in the frigid air. The herd is a promise and a curse. Mara, the old woman whose face is a roadmap of 60 such winters, steps beside Kale. She leans on her spear, its tip a piece of sharpened Allosaurus tooth. She does not look at the herd. She looks at the ice. She stamps a foot on the stone near the edge, a hollow, solid sound. Then she points a gnarled finger at the frozen sea. "It sings," she rasps, her voice thin as a reed. They all hear it now. A low, resonant groaning that shudders up through the rock, the sound of unimaginable pressure, of a weakness that runs deep. Between them and the herd lies a treacherous network of pressure ridges, jagged lines where the ice has buckled and frozen, hiding fissures beneath. To hunt upon the groaning skin of the deep is to offer your warmth, as a wager against the cold certainty. The choice hangs in the air, heavier than the snow-laden clouds. Starve here, slowly, in the dark, or walk out onto the white glass and face a quicker, colder end for a chance at life. Kale meets Mara's gaze. Her eyes are not fearful, but weary, filled with the knowledge of all the hunters who have been taken by the cold, the beasts, the unforgiving land of these ancient humans. He looks at the others, at the hollow cheeks and desperate hope. He turns his back to the cave and takes a single step toward the path leading down to the ice. One by one, the others fall in behind him. The decision is made. The world out on the ice is one of sound and pressure. The groan of the frozen sea is a constant, physical presence, vibrating up through the soles of their high-drapped feet and into the hollows of their bones. Kale leads the main hunting party, a line of 10 ghosts moving low and fast across the white. Their goal is not to charge, but to flow, to become another whisper in the wind. The plan, born of Mara's long memory and Kale's sharp eye, is a spitterbear of their own making. They will not attack the main body of the herd. That is suicide. Instead, they will use the pressure ridges as natural barriers, applying pressure from the flanks to gently peel one of the younger, less formidable Pachyrhinosaurus away from the safety of the group. It is a hunt that relies on an intimate understanding of herd dynamics, a delicate manipulation of fear. They move with a discipline that belies their desperation. Each hunter carries a spear tipped with a heavy osteodontocoratic point, the sharpened tooth of a long-dead carnivore, a piece of old death. They now wield to bring new life. Two smaller groups, led by the swift runners Dora and Lyra, have already circled wide, their task to appear as fleeting threats on the herd's periphery, nudging them, guiding their immense weight toward a pre-chosen field of slightly thinner, more fractured ice. It is a masterpiece of primitive technology and tactical thought, a testament to how Homo sapiens must think to survive in a world of titans. For an hour, the gambit works. The herd shifts, uneasy. A few of the bulls trumpet, their calls absorbed by the vast, snowy silence. A juvenile, spooked by Dar's sudden appearance on a high ridge, drifts to the outer edge of the pack. This is the moment. Kel raises his hand, a silent signal. The main party begins to close, not as a closing wall. But the ice is not a passive accomplice. As the herd bunches together, their deep-seated weakness in the frozen sheet, it begins not with a crack, but with a sound, a percussive boom that echoes from the black depths below. It is a sound of catastrophic failure. The juvenile panics. It doesn't bolt away from the hunters, but back into the heart of the herd, its fear a spark in a tinderbox of primal instinct. The controlled pressure of the hunt shatters. The herd explodes. The delicate darts becomes a thunderous stampede. The groaning of the ice becomes a scream as 1,000 tons of terrified flesh pound upon its surface. The world dissolves into chaos. A massive fissure, wide as a river, splits the ice directly in front of Kale, a jagged wound of black water opening with impossible speed. He skids to a halt, his skiers to a halt, his spear falling from his numb grasp. The spider has broken, and the hunters are now caught in it. Men and women scatter, leaping across newly formed cracks, their desperate shouts swallowed by the noise of the stampede in the fracturing world. The ground beneath their feet is no longer solid. It is a collection of massive, grinding plates, a puzzle of life and death. Kale finds himself on a frightening slab of ice with two other hunters, separated from the rest, adrift in a sea of their own making. The juvenile they targeted is also isolated, trapped on a neighboring floe, bellowing in terror. But the price of the hunt has just begun its terrible climb. There is no strategy now, only instinct. The world is a tilting, grinding raft of ice. Kale and the two others, a young, weary hunter named Ren and the stoic Bor, are trapped on the same floe as the bellowing juvenile. The black water of the chasm churns around them, littered with smaller chunks of ice. The rest of the clan is scattered, mere figures in the distance, fighting their own battles to find solid footing. Kale knows this is their only chance. He screams a single word, a sound torn from his lungs by the wind. Now, it is a desperate, bloody affair. A dinosaur fight on a crumbling arena. The Pachyrhinosaurus, maddened with fear, thrashes its heavy head, its bony boss a battering ram that could shatter a man's bones. Bor finds to the right, his spear flicker a movement, drawing the beast's attention. As it turns, Kale and Drent surge forward, driving their osteodontocratic spearheads into the creature's thick flank. Aiming for the soft tissue behind the ribs, the animal shrieks, the high, piercing sound of pain, and its thrashing ray doubles the flow's sickening rock and sway. Bor leaps back as the beast crashes down, its own death throes nearly taking him with it. Then it is still. A river of dark, hot blood floods the white ice, steaming in the frigid air, and pours over the edge into the black water. For a heartbeat, there is only the panting of the three hunters and the groan of the ice. They have done it. A victory against impossible odds. But the blood is a summons. The water near the edge of their flow darkens. It is not a shadow. It is a shape, rising from the impossible depths. First, a head, vast and elongated, longer than a man is tall-surfaced. Its skin is a ghostly, mottled grey, perfectly suited for this world of ice and shadow. An eye, cold and black and ancient, the size of Kale's head, breaks the surface and fixes on the blood-soaked ice. Then the body continues to rise. It is a beast not of land or sky, but of the crushing, abyssal cold. A Mosasaur, a true titan of the deep, drawn by the scent of the kill. Its presence changes the very nature of their reality. They were hunters, now they are offerings on an altar of ice. The great reptile bumps the flow, a gentle, exploratory nudge that sends a tremor through the ice and nearly pitches them into the water. Its jaws lined with rows of conical teeth, part slightly. It is not attacking them. It is claiming their kill. They have a mountain of meat, and they are about to lose it all. Worse, the beast's movements are widening the gap, pushing their flow further out into the open water. Kale begins frantically slicing at the carcass, trying to sever a hindquarter. But the hide is thick, the sinew-like iron cable. Bor helps him, his face a mask of grim focus. They are losing time. The cold is seeping into their bones, the first tendrils of hypothermia threatening to slow their already clumsy hands. Ren stands guard, his spear held forward, a useless gesture of defiance against a god. The Mosasaur sinks slightly, preparing to heave its immense body onto the ice to drag the entire prize under. It will shatter the flow and drown them all. Ren understands the toll. He looks at Kale, a fleeting glance of shared knowledge. Then he runs to the far side of the Pachyrhinosaurus, plunging his spear into the dead creature's iron screaming. A raw, human sound of pure challenge. The Mosasaur's head snaps toward the new motion. As its immense jaws open and surge toward Ren, Kale and Br give one final, desperate heave. A huge section of the carcass stares free, and leap across the churning water to an adjacent, more stable flow just as the Mosasaur's jaws close on Ren and half the carcass, dragging him under in a swirl of red-black water without a sound. The journey back is a silent, grim procession. They have food. The clan will eat. But as Kale and Bor drag the heavy slab of meat across the now stable ice, joining the other survivors, there is no triumph. They have paid them all below its toll. A sacrifice of warm blood to the ancient cold. Victory, in this prehistoric world of dinosaurs and desperate human ancestors, is simply a measure of what you are willing to lose. They did not conquer the ice. They merely survived its terrible bargain, leaving a piece of their own small, brave light in the crushing darkness beneath. This is the nature of human evolution, a path paved not with glory, but with the bones of those who paid the price for the next sunrise. Look closer at that shivering group of ancient humans, huddled on the unforgiving shore, their faces illuminated by the first fire they will build to cook the meat of their costly victory. What you are seeing is not just a scene from a forgotten epoch of prehistoric life, millions of years ago. You are witnessing the birth of an idea, the most powerful weapon humanity would ever conceive, calculate against the dying of the light. They weighed it, measured it, and chose to wager their own lives against the certainty of extinction. That desperate calculus on the ice, that brutal exchange of one life for the survival of the many, is the very bedrock of our species' ascent. Every daring exploration, every sacrifice made for a future one will not see, has its genesis in moments like this. Their struggle is the first of an epic poem we are still writing. It poses the eternal human question. When faced with an abyss that promises to devour you, do you retreat, or do you build a bridge out of the bones of your fallen and cross it? This is the chronicle of the first echo, the sound of a whisper that dared to answer the roar. But on the southern plains, the earth itself is learning to hunt.